In today's video, we're going to be going over the Paradiddle finger warm-up for pipers. Stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. I also teach online lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more on that later. Alright everybody, this journey continues. It's been 1 week since I started teaching myself to play again with my hands reversed. So my right hand is on top and my left hand is on bottom. And last week, my whole job was just to put the chanter down, pick it up, and play a low A and a low G in particular. And I found I've gotten quite reliable at it, and as I think I mentioned in the last video, I'm only using my Maverick Mark II chanter to do this. And what's interesting about that is, because it has such a different feel, when I pick this up, I'm already naturally gravitating to having my right hand on top. So that's kind of cool that that went a little bit more quickly than I might thought, though I'm still having a little bit of cramping or tightness in that bottom thumb, and I'm having a hard time getting my fingers completely perpendicular, mainly because of the lack of flexibility in this thumb, but it is something I am working on, so just wanted to bring that up. But enough of all that, we're moving on to Bagpipe Lesson 2, finger warm-up exercises for pipers. Let's dive in. Today we're going to learn the concept of paradiddles to create a fast and effective warm-up for the pipes. Stay tuned. So how are we going to go about doing this? Well, here we're going to start, in this case, on a low A. And you can see here, I have on page 2 of the document, and if you wanted all the lessons in one concise handbook manual right here, I have my Bagpipe Basic Series manual available on Amazon. Link you'll see right here and in the description below, the entire Basic Series in one place, but the free PDF is still available at the link you can see here and again down below. Just wanted folks to know that. The first 8 basic patterns that we're going to be learning here, but these are all from a low A. So that'll be everything covered except for the bottom pinky. Now from here, to do a paradiddle, rather than left and right, I want to think more like top and bottom. So it'll be top, bottom, top, top. That'll be pattern 1. And then bottom, top, bottom, bottom. It's a quick but controlled lift and down. Thwack, thwack. All right, here goes nothing, folks. Off to a good start, though I didn't think this one would be too hard because all I'm doing is inverting my G's and D's. I've played plenty of G grace notes. I've played plenty of D grace notes. They just happen to be backwards from what they used to be, but these pointer fingers are used to this grace note motion. So I'm not surprised that one came out well. We'll see how it continues to go throughout this. So you can see we're going to do this pattern, and the pattern is going to be on screen, and it's going to be on the page as well. So we're going to go top, bottom, top, top for pattern 1, and then bottom, top, bottom, bottom. And as we do this, it's going to be 1 blip per beat as we start. Let's go ahead and give this a try. I got my metronome set here at 75. This is the Tempo app by Frozen 8, but it doesn't really matter what metronome app you're using. Just make sure you're comfortable and confident with your ability to use it. As I'm going through this today, I am not going to have a metronome for a number of reasons. The biggest one is I'm kind of out of room. I have my book over here. I've got my computer over here. I've got my light here, microphone there, camera here. I'm kind of out of space to do things. So I'm not going to be using a metronome, but I do strongly recommend you use a metronome if you can. So I want to put each blip on the beat. Bop, 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 bop. Let's give it a go. So ready, go. What matters most right now is both that the motions are blips, not bloops, not... We don't want anything that big. Small motions. And it's also very important that we're getting the pattern right, that we're going top, bottom, top, top, bottom, top, bottom, bottom. It matters more than you think. But when you can reliably play the pattern and play the grace notes correctly, go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be the same pattern, but now on the middle fingers. Yeah, the middle fingers. We're still going to be in an A position. All right, let's see the middle fingers by themselves first. Little lack of control with that bottom finger, which is interesting because that have been the F grace note I'd have more experience with my hands in the other order. But yeah, so there's the middle fingers. but now with the middles. So ready, go. All right, for the next exercise, we're going to actually now be on an E rather than a low A. And on E, we're going to be doing it between the top pointer and the top middle. So now rather than going between hands, all right, E. Oh, a little tight with that one. No, a little lack of control. So that one's coming in pretty well too. We're staying on the same hand, so this can prove a little bit more challenging. Anyways, let's try this at 75. So, ready, go. Next, we're going to do this from the note C. So, from a C position, we're going to be going back to just the 2 pointer fingers, but this time the bottom pointer finger might feel a little bit more loose or open because you have your middle finger floating. So, just because this finger is up, I don't want this grace note to be any bigger. So, all right, see how we do by ourselves here. Already missed. Oh, tight, tight, tight. I'm feeling it in that thumb. Again, maybe look down at your hands while you're doing this and try to make sure that the 2 grace notes remain right about the same height and length. So, ready, go. All right, let's keep on moving on. Now we're going to go down to a low G, everything down. And now we're going to start with the ring finger and the pointer finger. Ring finger and pointer finger. I can feel these fingers starting to drift off a little bit, especially as I start speeding up. Let's try that again. Coverage, Matt, coverage. Feeling it. If this looks easy, it's not. Ooh, I might have to take a break for a second. This hand is really starting to I got through that, but barely. I could feel some air starting to vibrate, kind of the skin at the back of my finger there, meaning I was starting to lose a little bit of coverage on the back of the finger, and definitely feeling it here. Let's give this a try. So, ready, go. The next one on low G, we're going to do the top ring finger and the bottom ring finger. This one, all right, ring fingers. Oh, so that's interesting. So my former E grace note is really not wanting to move with that pinky down. It's used to playing grace notes just fine, but with that pinky down, that's not a position it's used to firing in. So that's interesting. Let's try that again. There's that blurry lack of coverage coming in. Again, I feel the fatigue in my hand. So there, I was talking earlier about trying to keep all your grace notes or blips even. I can definitely tell that that bottom ring finger with the pinky down is bigger than the top ring finger with the pinky up. So that one's going to take some work. So that might be something I kind of just do on my own on this channel for a little bit to get used to moving that guy with the pinky down. So 1, 2, ready, go. I did it! I wanted to give a quick shout out to the members of my Patreon community. You'll see their names scrolling up right now. I'd love to add your name to this list. There are a number of perks by joining the Patreon, but the biggest part is, well, it helps support the channel and makes all these videos possible. So thank you all so very much for your support. All right, so now we're going to do a single-handed one on the bottom hand now. So from here, again on low G, we're going to do the pointer finger and then the middle finger for this one. Let's give it a try. Again, I can feel that bottom hand cramping up, so not easy. Oh, that one's not going to be firing at that fast speed. I'm going to keep that one nice and slow. No reason to do anything quickly if it's not going well. That's just practicing, well, some bad habits. So, ready, go. That was terrible. Let's go back in time and try it with me again. So, ready, go. A little early with one of those grace notes. Again, a little lack of control, worrying more about coverage at this point than I am about timing, and it's all got to come together. So this is definitely eye-opening. And now we're going back to the top hand. We're going to do the top pointer and the top ring. And this... All right. The bottom hand's been the one bothering me, so I'm kind of relieved to be on D. I have a feeling this one will go fairly well. Oh, that top ring finger started wearing out. Again, that would have been on the other position, that B grace note, which, you know, most pipers have some experience with, but don't do a ton of. So I think both of my ring fingers could get used to doing some grace noting exercises to be under control with this switched hand experiment I'm doing here. So this is a good time to perhaps experiment with where you want to hold your pinky. Ultimately, I don't care. Wherever you can get this blip of emotion to be the same size as this blip of emotion is where I want your pinky. For me, it happens to be up top. For other people, it happens to be tucked. I don't care. I just want the finger to be in the place you need it to be so that you can control that E grace note the way you need to. All right, let's do this one. So, ready, go. I did want to show how you can take this to the next level as a more advanced player. So even though we're still at 75 here, I want you to go through this pattern once with it at 75, and then I want you to do it at exactly twice the speed, so that's equivalent of 150. So the metronome won't change, but you'll do the pattern twice as quickly, and I want you to go through that twice. I'll show you. And as you've been seeing, I've been doing that since the very beginning. I've kind of watched this video. I kind of remember putting this one together. But in any case, don't worry about the fast ones if they're not coming out. You saw I backed away from trying to do one of them quickly when it just wasn't working at all. If they're not working slow, they're not going to be working quickly. And if they're a mess when they're quick, you probably can do some more work with them slow. So it's an advanced thing, but not required. It does not need to be that way before you move on to the next lesson. That's just some more advanced thing. Try to keep it a little bit more interesting. If you wanted more personalized instruction, go ahead and head over to www.commandyourbagpipe.com or email me at the address you see here, and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet. I hope to work with you soon. Now, the next one is going to involve the pinky. And the first thing I want to do is actually a test on the flexibility of your pinky. This is going to eventually evolve into an embellishment called a burl, and I have a video on burls up here, but I've learned some stuff since then, and I want to share it with you guys. So I want you to take your bottom hand. For most people, that's going to be their right hand, but whichever hand you're covering the bottom holes with, I want you to take it and put it face up. Then I want you to grab your pointer, middle, and ring finger with your other hand. I want you to try to curl your pinky back into your palm. And I want you to notice, I'm not exaggerating, that is as far back as I can go without straining. That's really good, but boom, it comes to a hard stop. I will not be showing you the 7 If you can do the 7 variety, that's great. I'm going to keep with my sweepy one. I have no more mobility with my left pinky than I do with my right, so I'm not going to, possibly injure this. It looks like it's working fine now, but that guy's curling a lot. I'm just going to do the sweepy burl that I know works for me. The camera happens to be rolling as I'm attempting my first sweeps over the hole while actually trying to make a sound. We'll see if anything happens. I couldn't even remember which direction my finger was going, but those worked out better than I thought, but I can tell I'm actually now starting to actually crush the chanter. I've been doing, I think, a pretty good job of not pressing in, but I definitely have like that little divot in my thumb. I shouldn't have to be pressing that hard. I know better, but that doesn't mean that my hand's going to listen to me. Ooh. So this is one to get a metronome out and get under control. That was pretty messy. We'll see if I can play along with me here. So if you're like me and you don't have that flexibility, it's really not a problem. We're just going to do this slightly different. Instead of starting above and going below, I find it most useful to start from underneath actually and sweep up across the hole and then down across the hole. This one is just lateral finger motions with a little bit of lifting if needed, but I'm not going too far up or off the chanter. That was actually easier to follow along while watching the video than just trying to think about it. Interesting. And then the final one I want to talk about here is your thumb. Now, most everyone has a pretty dexterous thumb, so this doesn't tend to be too difficult for folks. Ooh, I'm actually not quite hitting the hole there. Ready, go. So that was interesting. I had more success on many of these than I expected, but the coverage on the bottom hand was starting to get really sketchy as I went on in a way that last week, just playing that low G was not showing. I was getting quite reliable at picking this up and getting a low G, but adding extra finger motions to it really has upped the challenge. So if you're trying this along, don't move ahead. I think there's some value. Master each one of these, or at least get them down pretty well before you move on to the next one. So we'll see in a few days if this is getting better, and if so, I'll add some extra footage. If not, this might be going just straight next week into lesson 3, which I can only imagine is going to start getting exciting when we start actually changing notes in real time. But yeah, the Paradiddle finger warm-up, it is exceedingly challenging on the hands. It doesn't even feel like a warm-up right now. It feels like a full-on workout, and these hands are spent for the moment. So I thought I might actually pick up my Highland pipes and give them a go now, but I'm going to do that later this afternoon and give my hands a little bit of a break while I go make myself a snack and let them heal and rest for a bit. And people have been asking, why am I doing this? Why would you even think to switch your hands? Well, 1, I thought it'd be a nice, fun challenge. 2, I thought it'd be great for you guys to see me struggle to do the very stuff I'm asking you to do and see that it doesn't come easily to someone who's even been doing this for almost 30 years. Can it be done? Can I get as proficient with my hands reversed as I can normally? Who knows? I'd like to hope I can. If I could do it one way, I don't see why I couldn't do it the other. I'm right-handed, so I would think having the bag under the right arm ultimately would be easier, not harder. And the hand position doesn't really matter. Both hands are kind of equally taxed in what they have to do. It's just different what they have to do. So that's the why. And again, if you wanted to have all of these lessons in one place, in one tome, the Bagpipe Basic Series Exercise Manual is available on Amazon worldwide. There'll be links right here and in the description to get your copy of the Bagpipe Basic Series so you can have it all right here at your fingertips. This will be quite the week, folks, trying to get these paradiddles and future grace notes under control. I look forward to seeing what that's like and an update on how my hand might be doing with that crampiness. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, if you like this video, go ahead and like the video, click that subscribe button, and yeah, until next time, I'm Matt Willis. Cheers.